Hello everybody. Hope everyone is having a good week. Yes, it's been a while, but just been really busy with lots of stuff to do. Can't get it all done in a day. But I do have some news here, and not all of it is regarding Jehovah's Witnesses, but I wanted to cover this one. And I think this is interesting because I do follow the Protect Every Child, organization, and will not follow them like a faithful follower type deal, but I just keep up with the news with them. And they have an article here from the New York Post. Take it for what it's worth. We all know news these days, but usually they're right on with these abuse cases. But this is a New York summer camp to the stars, says alleged sexual abuse victim didn't protect himself. Now the reason I wanted to mention this article and bring it up, because what this camp is alleging is exactly the same thing Watchtower has tried to pull in court cases in the past. A Tony, New York summer camp catering to kids of the rich and famous says it's not to blame for a perv, former counselor, because his kiddie accuser should have protected himself better, court papers show. And isn't that very similar to what Watchtower says? Oh, well, it's the parents' responsibility. We're not responsible, for what elders and ministerial servants do. The redress scheme does not apply to us because we don't have child institutions, and most of it is family abuse. See, this is the exact same thing. But this is an interesting article. I'll read a few paragraphs more. Exclusive Brant Lake camp, whose members have reportedly included the sons of Ralph Lauren, it's a famous designer here in the United States, and Jerry Seinfeld, celebrity, made the eyebrow-raising claim in response to a lawsuit by the family of a young former camper from Manhattan. The boy was 9 when he told his parents in June 2018 that the then longtime camp counselor Dylan Saltz, 53, touched his privates, sparking a police probe that led to scores of other young boys stepping forward alleging abuse at the employees' hands, according to the upstate newspaper The Post-Star. And he worked at this camp for 33 years, and of course now more abuse survivors are coming forward. It's just sickening. I'm being made to make the announcement. I'm looking for Watchtower abuse victims in Kanawha County, West Virginia. That's Kanawha County, West Virginia. This is a current situation of multiple children allegedly molested, and the alleged pedophile being protected all this time by the elders of the congregation. So when the elders tell the rank and file, and Watchtower makes the public statement that they protect children now and they report it to the police, I wish Mike was here to, start swearing, because this is an outright lie. This is an ongoing investigation right now, and they're protecting the pervo. The abuser denies allegations, of course. Please do not use my name. Anyone that has information about any child abuse cases in that county can email me at tyson.tovar.jwso@gmail.com, and I will put the link to that email down below. So if you have any information, contact them, or if you are a survivor, victim, let them know, because this is going to be an ongoing investigation. And yeah. All right, now I've got an article here from Ireland. This is actually from yesterday, I believe it looks like. Man 29 admits sexual exploitation of girl 13 he met through Jehovah's Witness congregation. A member of the Jehovah's Witness Church has admitted the sexual exploitation of a 13-year-old girl. The man, who cannot be named to protect the identity of the victim, was age 29 when he met the girl through their mutual association with a local Jehovah's Witness congregation. Dublin Circuit Criminal Court heard that over a period of time in 2016, he and the girl exchanged messages on Viber, including sexually explicit images of the child. The offending came to light when the girl's older sister spotted the messages and semi-naked images on a shared computer device and alerted their mother. The court heard that the man and the girl began talking initially about organizing team sports activities in connection with the church. The man told Garde that the girl told him she was feeling bad and was thinking of harming herself. And of course, Jehovah's Witnesses will say, oh, even Watchtower, oh, well, see, we don't do organized sports. Malarkey. That's an Irish word, by the way. Because how many of us in the past have organized like softball or baseball games or volleyball games, anything like that? They'll have like a congregation picnic and then they all get together and play sports. Been there, done that. Organized them myself. So, yeah. So anyway, like I said, JWs will deny this at all cost. Now, I wanted to read this. I was sent this. This is done by a certified psychologist, Michael Benjamin. The initials behind, or the letters behind his name is MSW, LICSW. And I'm just going to take the time to read this because this was to an individual named Ronald Rasband and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. See, they have the same problem Jehovah's Witnesses do. See, Jehovah's Witnesses will listen to reports about the Mormon Church and the Catholic Church and believe it, and will even use it to say, see, we're Jehovah's clean people. Look at them. They have a systemic problem of abuse in their religion, but look at us. See, and they won't accept the own reports about Jehovah's Witnesses. They always have an excuse. Just like this. Elders hiding, protecting a pervo. Oh, well, that doesn't happen in Jehovah's Witnesses. That's a lie. That's an apostate lie. Malarkey. Okay, I'm going to read this statement. As a mental health provider for almost 20 years, I want to express my concerns with how suicide, mental health, and substance abuse issues were exploited, trivialized, and used as propaganda during the young adult face-to-face event that you and your wife hosted on Sunday, September 30th, 2020. It is especially egregious that this occurred during Suicide Prevention Month. After an individual's question about the church's truth claims and whether to stay in the church was asked, an emotional video about a young man named Dominic Still was shared. During the video, Dominic talked about his history of depression, substance abuse, and how he contemplated suicide before joining the church. And this is the reason I read this, because this is the same thing in Jehovah's Witnesses. They have videos and articles about suicide. And if you have depression and problems, mental health issues, substance abuse, self-medicating, anything like that, oh, well, you need to study our literature and pray more. Isn't that what Jehovah's Witnesses say? So while I'm reading this, just think about, oh, this is the same thing happening in the Watchtower organization. In my professional opinion, using this story as the response to an aforementioned question was concerning for the following reasons. Mental health illness is real. I believe that using an individual story of suicidality as a faith-promoting reason to stay in a church trivializes mental illness as a weakness that is simply overcome through membership in the church. Just like Watchtower. There was no mention for the need for mental health treatment and or medication, just like Watchtower. Dominic did not talk about the benefits of seeking professional help in recovery. I think this this is irresponsible and dangerous to send the message to young adults that mental illness, substance abuse, and suicidal thoughts are cured through faith and membership in the church. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among individuals between the ages of 10 to 24. In my opinion, comparing an individual's decision to leave the church to taking one's own life is a manipulative and opportunistic, just like Watchtower. Sharing Dominic's story with young adults seems to use fear and shame as a way to convince someone to stay in the church, aka you won't be happy if you leave. And if you don't believe me, just watch Watchtower's movie, The Prodigal Son Returns. Right? To me, the implicit message seems to be leaving the church is just like taking your own life, and falsely implying that the church can be the cure for an individual's depression, substance abuse, and suicidality. Does not even address the original question that was asked about truth claims and staying in the church. Mental illness is not caused by a weakness, lack of faith, or an inability to fill the Spirit. Agreed. And this is a professional healthcare provider or mental health care provider for 20 years. Again, I consider it harmful propaganda to propose that mental illness can be resolved by simply having faith and joining the church. Additionally, it is dangerous to portray the binary idea that people without faith will continue to suffer from depression, but people with the right faith will experience joy and happiness, just like Dominic did. Does the video Best Life Ever from Jehovah's Witnesses come to mind? I fear that many young adults will internalize this message and believe that they are experiencing mental health issues due to a personality weakness or a lack of faith, and as a result they will feel worse and will not seek the appropriate help for an illness that is caused by chemical biological reasons, family history, and or life experiences, i.e. grief, loss, trauma, etc. Suicide contagion is real. There are specific guidelines for how to talk about suicide in public and on social media. I believe that these guidelines were completely ignored, which was incredibly reckless and irresponsible. Mental health resources were not provided. Seeking appropriate mental health treatment was not emphasized or even suggested. Dominic's suicidality was glamorized and sensationalized within a faith-promoting story. And a trigger warning or content warning should have been given, as these kind of stories can cause painful psychological responses for some individuals. And especially now, since the past year, all of us have been trying to deal with the pandemic and, lockdowns and all of that. I mean, suicides and depression and domestic abuse has just skyrocketed along with child abuse. Good Lord. In the future, please do not exploit mental health, substance use, or suicide as propaganda for your faith-promoting agenda. And the same thing can be applied to Watchtower. Stop using this as propaganda.
During my teenage years, I began to drink alcohol. Life seemed meaningless to me. I felt depressed and started to have suicidal thoughts. When I was around 20, I became obsessed with hard rock. This music really charged me with energy. I loved its roughness and rapidness. It whipped me into a frenzy. In time, I became rude and aggressive. I often quarreled with those close to me. This, of course, did not bring me happiness. I started to have suicidal thoughts again, but serious ones this time. The only thing that stopped me was the thought that my mom would not survive it. I tried to take my mind off these thoughts, and I began to want to do something for God. For the first time in my life, I poured out my heart to God in prayer. I asked Him to help me find my purpose in life. Just 2 hours later, Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door and offered a Bible study. That's how my new, happy life began.
Please share and report about suicide in a responsible manner. Please answer the questions that are asked instead of giving a non-answer or diverting the answer with emotionally laden, exploitative videos. Please do not use guilt, shame, or fear to convince people to stay in the church. Right? Likewise, please don't use guilt, shame, or fear with people who have mental health issues. Please take time to listen and love. Please continue to provide mental health resources and support, especially to the young adults. Sincerely, Michael C. Benjamin, MSW, LICSW. And like I said, this is an excellent, excellent statement that he wrote to, this person that was part of the Church of Latter-day Saints, because they have the same problem Jehovah's Witnesses do. Mental health issues, shunning, they shun too. Even though they don't say they do, they do. I know, because we've got friends who are Mormons. They've got the same problems, same issues, same systemic abuse problem. Same issue with the organization, the high-ups, I think they're called the 12 Apostles. Instead of the governing body, they have the 12 Apostles. Same problem. They try to hide it, cover it up. Oh, well, you need to pray more. You need to strengthen your faith. That has nothing to do with it. So, also, I wanted to mention that if anybody wants any literature, I've got some of it on our eBay, and I will put the link down below to our eBay items, because I have several shelves in the back bedroom that are full of Watchtower literature, and I want to be getting rid of all of that to make room for like our store inventory and supplies and stuff that we need for our store. So if anybody wants or needs anything, just let me know. I've got a little bit of everything, from brochures and tracts to bond volumes, and all I ask is that you just pay for shipping. I had someone ask for 2 bond volumes, and they told me that they would reimburse me for the shipping. And I spent $30 sending these bond volumes to Canada. Because when you ship things internationally, it's, more expensive. And I've never received reimbursement for that. So, unfortunately now I have to have the reimbursement for shipping. But, just contact me, and, I'll let you know how much shipping would be to whatever country or, state here in the United States you're in. And like I said, I've got several bond volumes. I think they only go back to like the 1960 or 1962 Watchtower. I don't have any older awakes. I've got all kinds of books. And, I've got a few single magazines. And like I said, I do have a few things on eBay. And not very much, just trying to get rid of it. So thank you for watching. And you all have a wonderful week. Bye.